ENCOLAWS lawyer, patent and trademark attorneys, investment consultants, would like to wish you a productive day and update you on our legal document updates week the 4th of April 2024 with the following contents. Enterprise. Efforts made to promote establishment of cottage industry zones. The government has recently issued Decree 32/2024 (NDCP) on the management and development of cottage industry zones to attract small and medium-sized enterprises, cooperatives, and cooperative groups to invest in production and business in concentrated production areas. Export-import. Amend the rules of origin in AKFTA agreement. On March 27, 2024, the Ministry of Industry and Trade Number 04/2024, TT-BCT, on amending and supplementing several articles of the Circular Number 20/2014 of TT-BCT, dated June 25, 2014, of the Minister of Industry and Trade on the implementation of rules of origin in the agreement establishing ASEAN-Korea Free Trade Area, AKFTA. Land housing. Ministry proposes pilot mechanism for use of non-residential land to implement commercial housing projects. Real estate businesses would be permitted to implement commercial housing projects on non-residential land if they currently possess or have acquired land use rights and meet law-prescribed conditions for land repurposing. Natural resources environment. PM instructs intensification of forest fire prevention control measures. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has instructed localities, ministries, and agencies to intensify forest fire prevention and control measures. Science technology. Management of subjects of traceability of products and goods. On March 28, 2024, the Ministry of Science and Technology issues Circular Number 02/2024, TT-BKHDT, on the management of product origin tracing. Measures to improve traceability of products and goods provided. The Ministry of Science and Technology has recently issued a circular to tighten the management of traceability of products and goods. Transport. New technical regulations on expressways issued. Expressways must have at least 4 lanes with maximum speed of 120 km per hour, as well as rest stops and emergency stopping lanes. Amend the dossier for issuance of airport or airfield registration certificates. On February 23, 2024, the government issues the Decree No. 20/2004, NDCP, on amending and supplementing a number of articles of Decree Number 05/2021, NDCP, dated January 25, 2021, of the government, on the management, operation of airports and airfields, and Decree Number 64/2022, NDCP, dated September 15, 2022, of the government amending and supplementing a number of articles of the decrees regulating business activities in civil aviation. The following is the detailed content. Enterprise. Efforts made to promote establishment of cottage industry zones. The government has recently issued Decree 32/2024, NDCP, on the management and development of cottage industry zones to attract small and medium-sized enterprises, cooperatives, and cooperative groups to invest in production and business in concentrated production areas. With a view to attracting small and medium-sized enterprises, cooperatives, and cooperative groups to invest in production and business in or relocate their existing production and business facilities to concentrated production areas, the government has recently issued Decree 32/2024 NDCP on management and development of cottage industry zones. Cottage industry zone is defined in the new regulation as a delimited place where industrial production activities are carried out and services for industrial and cottage industry activities are provided and there are no inhabitants. In addition, it must neither be larger than 75 hectares nor smaller than 10 hectares. For cottage industry zones in mountainous districts and those within craft villages, each must neither be larger than 75 hectares nor smaller than 5 hectares. Worthy of note, a cottage industry zone can be established if it is included in an approved list of cottage industry zones in a province, set to occupy a land area in conformity with a district-level land use master plan, and has its technical infrastructure invested and constructed by the enterprise, cooperative, or organization with the legal entity status and sufficient financial capacity. In case a district already has cottage industry zones, the average occupancy rate of them must exceed 50%, or the zone's total industrial land area yet to be leased must be under 100 hectares. As for investment incentives, local budgets will support the development of technical infrastructure facilities both inside and outside cottage industry zones in their localities. Priority will be given to environmental protection infrastructure facilities for operating cottage industry zones, shared technical infrastructure projects in areas with difficult or extremely difficult socio-economic conditions, as well as those on sectoral linkage, eco-manufacturing and preservation of traditional crafts. The state will provide as financial support up to 30% of total investment capital required for technical infrastructure construction in a cottage industry zone, which is not included in the project's total investment capital for calculation of land sublease prices and infrastructure use levies. The decree will take effect on May 1st this year. Export-import. Amend the rules of origin in AKFTA agreement. On March 27, 2024, the Ministry of Industry and Trade No. 04/2024, TT-BCT, on amending and supplementing several articles of the Circular No. 20/2014 of TT-BCT, dated June 25, 2014, of the Minister of Industry and Trade on the implementation of rules of origin in the agreement establishing ASEAN-Korea Free Trade Area, AKFTA. Circular No. 04/2024, TT-BCT, on amending and supplementing Article 4, Appendix I on the Rules of Origin, enclosed with the Circular No. 20/2014, or TT-BCT. For the purposes of Point B Clause 1 Article 2, a good, except those covered under Article 5 as provided for in this appendix, shall be deemed to be originating if the regional value content, herein after referred to as the RVC, is not less than 40% of the FOB value, or if a good has undergone a change in tariff classification at 4-digit level, change of tariff heading, of the harmonized system. RVC shall be calculated adopting one of the following two formulas. Direct formula. RVC equals VOM FOB x 100%. Within that, VOM means the value of originating materials, including the value of originating materials, direct expenses for workers, direct allocation expenses, transportation expenses and profits. Indirect formula. RVC equals FOB VNM, FOB, x 100%. VNM means the value of non-originating materials or materials of undetermined origin, which shall be the CIF value at the time of importation of the materials, parts or goods, or the earliest ascertained price paid for the materials, parts or goods of undetermined origin in the territory of the party where the working or processing has taken place. An exporter or producer of the exporting party shall be given the flexibility to adopt the method of calculating the RVC, whether it is the direct or indirect method. The exporter or producer shall continue to use the selected method of calculating the RVC throughout the same fiscal year. Any verification of the RVC by the importing party shall be done based on the method of calculating the RVC used by the exporter or producer. Clause 1 Article 5 of Appendix V. Procedures for issuance and verification of CO, enclosed with Circular No. 20/2014 or TT-BCT, is amended as follows. Within that, the care of shall be in a printed format, which is manually or electronically signed, stamped and issued directly by the care of issuing authorities of the exporting party on A4 size paper. In the attached form in Appendix VIA, enclosed with the circular number 20/2014, the TT-BCT, which is called as care of Form AK. In the English language, the ASEAN-Korea Free Trade Agreement is renamed as Agreement on Trade in Goods under the Framework Agreement on Comprehensive Economic Cooperation between ASEAN and Korea. The circular takes effect on May 11, 2024. Land housing. Ministry proposes pilot mechanism for use of non-residential land to implement commercial housing projects. Real estate businesses would be permitted to implement commercial housing projects on non-residential land if they currently possess or have acquired land use rights and meet law-prescribed conditions for land repurposing. Such regulations would be implemented on a pilot basis within 5 years from 2025, according to a draft resolution of the National Assembly prepared by the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, MONRE. Particularly, the acquisition of land use rights might take the form of transfer of land use rights, contribution of land use rights as capital, or donation of land use rights. To be granted permission for land repurposing, commercial housing projects must align with provincial master plans, district-level land use master plans, or urban construction master plans. Furthermore, such projects must be included in approved local programs and plans on housing development, and real estate businesses must obtain provincial-level people's committees' consent to the agreements on acquisition of land use rights they sign with current land users. The MONRE proposes that the number of projects to be implemented under the pilot mechanism would not exceed 30% of the total number of projects, and the total land areas allocated for these projects would not surpass 20% of the areas specified in approved programs and plans on housing development by 2030. Natural resources environment. PM instructs intensification of forest fire prevention control measures. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has instructed localities, ministries, and agencies to intensify forest fire prevention and control measures. According to Telegram 31 CDTTG, dated April 4, 2024, the PM requests the chairpersons of People's Committees of Provinces and centrally run cities and related agencies to strictly enforce forest fire prevention and control and intensify inspection and supervision. They are asked to develop specific, detailed fire prevention and control plans, arrange staff and resources for the work, review and make a list of fire-prone forests. The PM also assigns tasks to ministries and asks the mass media to further popularize information about forest fire prevention and control, especially fire warnings and forecasting. The Telegram says unusual hot weather is baking the southern and central highlands regions, as well as some northern provinces, causing high risk of fire for many forests at dangerous and extremely dangerous levels. According to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, due to the impact of climate change and the El Niño phenomenon, in 2024 severe heat waves will appear in many localities, with higher temperatures than in 2023. Severe hot weather and falling rainfalls pose a high risk of forest fires in many places, causing damage to forests and the environment, and affecting the people's health, property, and lives. Science, technology. Management of subjects of traceability of products and goods. On March 28, 2024, the Ministry of Science and Technology issues Circular Number 02/2024, TT-BKHDT, on the management of product origin tracing. The circular prescribes that a product origin tracing system shall ensure zero for the following principles. 1 step forward, 1 step back, assurance of the capacity for supervising and identifying previous and following production and trading stages during the production and trading processes of a product. Master data element availability. Master data elements shall be collected, retained and updated promptly in reports on detailed information on important events in the production process and the supply chain. Transparency. The origin tracing system shall meet the requirements for mandatory transparency equivalent to the use of static data on clients, suppliers, products, and production conditions. Adequate participation of origin tracing parties. The origin tracing system shall have the adequate participation of origin tracing parties of the organization. Additionally, organizations and individuals in the traceability system of products and goods must fully ensure the traceability process following the provisions of national standards, national technical regulations, international standards, and regional standards corresponding to the type of products and goods and in conformity with the relevant standards and technical regulations. The basis for the appropriate announcement on the internal assessment results of organizations or individuals or certification results of the organizations, which are appointed by law provisions. Besides, traceability data of each product in the product origin tracing system shall include the following mandatory information: name, images, name of the unit of production and trading, address of the unit of production and trading, production and trading stages, including the following mandatory information: product tracing codes, location tracking codes, and time of origin tracing of each stage. This circular takes effect on June 1, 2024. Measures to improve traceability of products and goods provided. The Ministry of Science and Technology has recently issued a circular to tighten the management of traceability of products and goods. Under Circular 02/2024, TT-BKHDT, dated March 28, organizations and individuals producing, trading and providing services are required to trace the origin of goods when creating data to ensure at least the name of product and goods, images of products and goods, name of production and business unit, and address of production and business unit. Other information includes stages in production and business time, codes to trace the origin of products and goods, brand, trademark, code, product serial number, if any, shelf life of products and goods, if any, national standards and technical regulations, international standards, regional standards and facility standards applied. The information must be printed with a code attached to the product packaging, connected to the National Product and Goods Traceability Portal. Consumers can look up the expiration date and origin of the product. The newly issued circular applies to organizations and individuals producing, doing business, and providing services that trace the origin of products and goods, organizations and individuals providing services and solutions related to traceability of products and goods, state management agencies, and other organizations and individuals involved in implementing traceability of products and goods. Transport. New technical regulations on expressways issued. Expressways must have at least 4 lanes with maximum speed of 120 km per hour, as well as rest stops and emergency stopping lanes. This was stated in the Ministry of Transport's 06/2024 TT-BCT, dated March 31, 2024, promulgating National Technical Regulations QCVN 115:2024 BGTVT on expressways. According to the circular that will take effect on October 1 this year, construction works associated with expressways will include a center for traffic management and operation, rest stop station, non-stop automatic toll collection system, vehicle weighing station, and protected barrier. Along expressways, different sections can have different maximum speeds, but 2 consecutive sections must not differ by more than 20 km per hour, and the minimum lane width should be at least 3.50 m. As for emergency stopping lanes, the minimum width should be at least 2.5 m, says the circular. Amend the dossier for issuance of airport or airfield registration certificates. On February 23, 2024, the government issues the Decree No. 20/2004 NDCP on amending and supplementing a number of articles of Decree No. 05/2021 NDCP, dated January 25, 2021, of the government, on the management, operation of airports and airfields, and Decree Number 64 of 2022, NDCP, dated September 15, 2022, of the Government amending and supplementing a number of articles of the decrees regulating business activities in civil aviation. Firstly, the dossier for airport or airfield registration certificates, including issuance of airport or airfield registration certificates, copy or electronic copy of the decision to establish an enterprise of the owner or the organization assigned to manage the airport or airfield, copy or electronic copy of the decision on investment policies or decision on investment in airport or airfield in case of new construction, renovation, upgrading, expanding of airports, airfields, copy or electronic copy of documents certifying that the airport or airfield infrastructure has completed acceptance procedures. Secondly, within 10 days from the date of receipt of valid documents as prescribed, the airport authority shall be responsible for appraising dossiers, including the following contents. Airports and airfields are built following the approved overall development plan of the National Airport and Airport System. Infrastructures of airports and airfields are built and technically accepted following standards and technical regulations according to regulations and operational capacity. Plan for building infrastructure of airports and airfields complies with technical standards according to the regulation for temporary registration of airports, airfields under construction and operational capacity. This circular takes effect on April 10, 2024.